Hey everyone, my name is Alice and I'm a realtor with nearly 10 years of experience. And today we're going to talk about the Ohio Reciprocity Exam. So, if you are an out-of-state agent, say you're in Michigan, you're in Indiana, California, whatever US state you're in, and you want to, maybe you're moving to Ohio, or maybe you do business with Ohio clients or sell or are looking to like list a Ohio property and you want to get your reciprocity license in Ohio. This video is for you. I don't think there's any other video out there. I looked for it back in the day when I was doing my reciprocity exam and it just doesn't exist. And I was like, this is confusing. I have like a lot of stuff to read. I had to make phone calls. I had to study hundreds of pages, and I spent weeks studying for this exam. And I also like landed on these hiccups along the way, just applying to get um, to my exam and get that scheduled and registered. So I'm going to walk you through. And by the time you're done with this video, hopefully you feel like you're not alone in the process. And I hope this helps somebody. Okay, so let me share screen. So I'll just show you like the year is 2025. This might be a little bit dated by the time you watch it, but hopefully it holds up. And for those of you watching, the law changed in 2023 on December. So back in the day, you had to take coursework, like formal coursework, and now you can just take an exam if you're an out-of-state active agent with over a year. And so it's pretty exciting stuff. So I'm going to share screen here on how you can go and take this Ohio real estate exam if you are out of state and already an agent. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to share screen here. Boom, boom. Okay. Let's hopefully you can see this. Okay. So the first thing I want to walk through is like the form you need to fill out to get this. So I sometimes get calls on this, like people just get really out of state. So this is one gotcha. You want to use the out of state form. If you use the in-state form, and so this is, I don't know if this is going to look like this when you watch the video. This is the Department of Commerce for Ohio, and this is the folks who will issue these licenses. So you do the out-of-state broker is if you're, that's like the next tier. So some states like Washington call a broker like that is a salesperson in California, or that'd be a salesperson in Ohio. We are going to talk about the salesperson's license application, and this is the one you want to fill out if you are trying to do the reciprocity exam. So when I first got to this page, I was like, where is this form? It says complete the application. I was like, where was it? Where is it? And it turned out it was right here. So there's this launch page, and then you click it, and then you'll be taken to the application. So that right there might have just saved you like 10 minutes or more. Okay, so there's this Privacy Statement Act. And so what you're going to do is you take this, and I want to point out the gotchas. So okay, so you have to do a background check. So, um, it depends where you live. If you're in Ohio, it's a little bit easier because there's like services in Ohio, but you're probably not. So you're gonna have to print out this BCI card, and you just need to print this one out. I should have it opened here. Here it is. When I went to do my fingerprint scan, they already had this, but print it out anyway, just in case you need to like have the official card or it doesn't look the same, the one that wherever you're getting this fingerprint taken. And I lost, of course, my page. Let me go back. Okay, so you need to do that. Uh, but before I even get into that, so let me go here. Okay, so I'm going to review this because this is not really in the order of operations. So it kind of is. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is you need to be sponsored by a broker in Ohio. And this is different from other states. Like other states, you can go get your agent's like license, but you don't have to like hang it anywhere yet. So this one in Ohio, you need to go find a broker. So go like Google brokerages, aka real estate agencies in Ohio, and go find one and reach out to them and say, hey, I want to become an Ohio agent. Can you sponsor me? And they should know what that means. They basically just have to sign this form, this application after you filled it out that says, yeah, they're going to hang their license with me. Chances are, if you're already an agent, you know the drill there. So I'm not going to go into like the details about that. I assume you know this if you are an agent. Um, so that's kind of one gotcha. So go do that. Go find a brokerage and say you want to hang your license with them. And then you have to satisfy this. So make sure you read through this and that you have like 1 year of experience. The other thing you're going to want is a government, your state certificate that says you are active in real estate. And so I was able to print this out and just use like the printout, but I recommend you just get the official certificate with the seal on it, which costed me in like in California it's like $20. You go and you like fill out this form, if I recall, or maybe I had to mail it in, and then they'll send you back a letter with the official certificate that says like Alice is a realtor in California and she's active. So you'll get that and you need to attach that with this application. Okay. Let's see. You've had to be inactive. So yeah, just read through this and make sure that you're actually eligible. Okay, so you're gonna do that. So here's the form here. You're gonna print this out. You're gonna mail this in. Okay, so when you mail it in, I actually had to talk to someone physically to like confirm how this order of operations works. You mail this in to Ohio, the Department of Commerce, and you mail it with your little fee here. I think it's like, I don't know, that's probably gonna go up. I'm not gonna mention the fee. It'll probably change by the time you watch this. And then what you're going to do within 10 days is you are going to go get your fingerprint and get this background check. So Ohio is going to receive your application. They're going to sit on it until they've gotten notification from this company. Right now it's BCI. I don't know if that's ever going to change. And so just read through this, get your fingerprint card. It's like a physical thing, and you're going to mail this in to this address and the fee. And then this company is going to, if they verify that you're not a criminal or doing any fraudulent stuff, they will notify the Department of Commerce in Ohio and say, okay, Sue or John, whatever your name is eligible. They are not, well, they're just going to say they're not bad guys. And then what's going to happen there is the Department of Commerce in Ohio is going to message PSI Exam Testing Center. Those are the ones, that's where you're going to take the exam, this PSI Testing Center company. So like this isn't really like said too clearly in the website. It kind of is, but it's like it's easy to understand once you've gone through it. So you're gonna wait for this email then from PSI, and then you're gonna get. I actually got blocked on one of this on one of my reciprocity exams. There was like a bug in the system where I had to keep calling both the State Department and I had to call PSI Exam Center and like figure out why that data wasn't getting sent. So if that happens to you, like make calls and be aggressive and use your agent skill to like resolve it. But once again, and then one thing to note, I'm the only one I know who's had this problem, so this will probably not happen to you. But once you get that email from PSI, then you can schedule your exam date. And you don't have to be in Ohio to schedule your exam to take the test. They have exam centers like all over the nation. So you can find one based on your zip code that is close to you. Hopefully you don't have to fly. We've had I'll mention this in a sec. We have a course and we've had people had to like fly to the exam center. Okay, so I think that's all of that. Let me see. I'm gonna go off screen or stop sharing here. What else do I have to cover with you? Okay, we covered that. How to study. Okay, now what do I study? So what you're going to study for this exam is the Ohio real estate and broker laws. I'm not going to even share it here. What's tricky is like they don't even link this to you. You have to go search and find it, but you're going to study that. And so I've done this myself, and I printed out a lot of pages, and it's kind of hard because you don't know what to focus on or any of that. So if you're looking for guidance there, I'm not going to cover it in this video, but there's this website. Actually, I will screen share. So we have this little course to help people. Let me screen share again. Here we go. And it's Ohio Reciprocity Prep. So you can go right here and sign up and check out the content and check out I have some practice questions on there that you can check out to get like a flavor of what's going on. And I'm not gonna like make this a promotional video or anything. I just wanted to call that out if you're like, what do I do to study? That's one resource you can use. And we created this like there's nothing else that's dedicated to just the Ohio laws and regulations that's quite like this. So we were very in depth, and I tried to only have our team focus on exactly like what you might see on the exam. For some of you with like 20 years of experience, because we get that call too, there are things that are very specific to Ohio around like terminology, like superintendent. Like not all states call the commissioner or whatever. They're just different terms in Ohio. And there's a few different like fair housing laws that are very specific. And again, this is an Ohio only state test. So one mistake that I made was I went through and I was like trying to look for Ohio state questions, and there's a bunch of videos online and samples of like Ohio real estate exam, but that's like the national and the state. So I ended up like going through a bunch of national questions that like will not show up. Like, what does littoral mean? And I put some of those in, like we put it in our course so that you can like refresh your memory on that. But yeah, don't waste your time on national question, like a ton of national questions. One thing to know too about the test is you'll have situational questions. And some of them, you'll read them and be like, wow, like there could be two right answers to this. So if there's two, you want to pick the best answer. And that's kind of where it helps if for you to have had real estate experience, because some of them you're just going to have to use like common sense. Other reasons why I'd like recommend like actually you're either going to read the Ohio state laws or you can like check out our course, Ohio Reciprocity Prep.com, and like actually learn like the nuances and refresh your memory there. Because as of making this video now, there's 40 questions and you need to get 70% right. So there's like not a lot of wiggle room to get things wrong. I've also done reciprocity ones where there's only you have 30 questions. So every question you get, you're like panicking. You're like, okay, I can't get too many wrong or then I fail. So yeah, let's see. I think I covered what I wanted to say there. Okay, I have a list of what I wanted to say in this video, and I don't want to re-record it because it takes a while. Let's see. Oh yeah, the other thing that we have on our exam is like a lot of sample questions, which I think I called out. Okay, testing day experience. That's what I want to talk about. Okay, so they don't really have like what do I expect when I get to the PSI testing center? So you want to get there early. Like I came maybe 30 minutes early. And one thing is, it's not just going to be realtors or real estate agents doing these exams. This is an exam center for like all sorts of people. So maybe it's people taking like a high school exam or maybe a pilot license or insurance broker. So yeah, tons of different types of people. The testing center I went to had lockers, so they will give you like this little key and they'll be like, well, you need to put everything in your locker. So I walked into the testing center and the moment you get in that door, like I went in this building, there's a testing center. They're like, okay, ma'am. They're like, put all your stuff in the locker, take everything out. You can't have anything on you because they don't want you to cheat. Um, and so they're like, you can even start early. And I was like, wait a second, I want to like review my notes. So I had like a bunch of notes. I had like pages. And so I left the testing center and like walked out in a little like cafe. And I was like, what do I even read? Which is why I recommend, I mean, I don't, just a plug. You should probably like get a course on this. And as far as I know, this ours is the only one for just Ohio State. So I like sit out there and I'm like looking through hundreds of print. It was like a stack this thick of like the laws. And I was like, I don't even know what to study. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna close my notes, go in and like hope for the best. And so they put all your notes and all your junk in a locker. You get your little key. And then they even check for checks. So they like check your ears. They're like, lift your hair, ma'am. And then I think, check your coat. They gave me a calculator and a pencil and a paper. I used the paper to like write down things like notes to myself. I didn't use the calculator. Um, and yeah, there's no math when I took it that was calculator requiring. Let's see. So yeah, 40 questions. There may be some trial questions. It kind of depends. Like if you see more than 40 questions, it's likely that mixed in there are some test questions that the state is trying to test out and you won't actually be graded on them. That happened to me. And I was like, oh great, but then you don't know which one is a play question that won't count. What else you is handy to know? Oh yeah, when you start, at least when I took it, they had like five sample questions to like get you in the mindset. And they have nothing to do with real estate. They're like just random questions just to practice that you're not graded on. What's cool about the PSI experience is when you're done, you go out, you like raise your hand or something. Oh, they also give you earphones. Sorry. Let's see. What else do I remember? You go out and then right there and then you can go to like the little clerk person and you can see if you passed or not. So I was like, I hope I passed. So thankfully I passed. They don't really tell you they didn't tell me anyway what my percentage was or anything. They're just like, you passed. Congrats. Here's your certificate that says you passed. So then what happens there is you're not really going to do anything with your certificate. You're just going to wait because they're going to message Ohio directly that you passed. And then from there, Ohio will like send you the notification that, hey, you're a broker. And call back to earlier in the video if because Ohio requires that you already have a broker you've signed on with and hung your license who's sponsoring you, you will automatically be boom, you are now an agent that's active. Um, some states don't have that. You get you're approved and then you have to go find your broker to go hang your license. But in Ohio it's different, so that's kind of cool. Um, and yeah, that's the process, and I hope this video helped. Let me think if there's anything else. Yeah, good luck, and if you're interested, you can check out the link below. Or you could even contact me. I know it's like kind of overwhelming, especially if you're like doing your job and trying to sell houses or whatever you're doing, and then also be studying for a test. And thanks for watching. Bye.